Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. All right, before we start into some gameplay, I want to talk about Blizzard and Activision. And this title in the forums, WoW subs declined 69%. Holy. Yes, you heard right. According to a pretty reputable source who goes by the name of Binoculars, WoW subs have dropped 69%. Thankfully, Maul 2 is on the way with 9.1, so I imagine all 69% that left will come back since that's been one of Shadowlands' highlights. Now, I want to read this reply. They capped AoE, added a bunch more grind than just AP, which is alternative progression, reduced the loot drop rate, gutted M plus loot, removed bonus rolls, nerfed every spec hard during pre-patch and beta, still managed to release an expansion without week 1 flying, and introduced new borrowed power systems to replace old borrowed power systems, plus convenience covenants you're stuck with that are tried to player power. Oh, and they also have ongoing inconsistent class balance problems. Not the, oh, you're a little weaker, but wow, this spec literally does 30% less damage in all situation. This expansion is worse than BFA. All right. Sound familiar, ESO players? Nerfing instead of raising difficulty, trying to raise the bar, we'd lower the ceiling. Sound familiar? Now, Final Fantasy 14, every WoW player is going there. It is no surprise. I mean, literally, we can go to YouTube and type in WoW player tries Final Fantasy 14. It's like right there. A WoW player, 3 weeks, 1 day, 2 weeks, 1 week. It's the big thing. It is the massive thing that all these players are trying 15 years of WoW. It is nuts. They're not coming to ESO. Okay, they're not going to. They're not. Maybe the PvPers, but the PvEers, the hardcore raiders, are not coming to ESO. It's not going to happen. We don't have a standard progression system. We don't have little items like mounts, except for 2 end game scenarios in which you can earn a mount. Our mounts are item shops. Okay, we have motifs, we have styles. I don't think that. I think it's to me it's in comparison. I like the motifs better than mounts personally. It's nice to have mounts, but you know these guys in Final Fantasy 14 they can earn mounts, right? So I'm just gonna say this: Blizzard and Activision were desperate, rebooted classic vanilla WoW to try to pull back in the nostalgia, while their main title keeps sinking. Now, Final Fantasy XIV experienced a rough launch and had to basically redo the game with the Realm Reborn. And ever since then, I hate to say it, Final Fantasy XIV from a PvE perspective is amazing. Now PvP, the game is horrible. It's god awful. But once you get up to level 40, 30, 40, you're off global cooldown spam. Works nice. You can macro certain abilities off of the global cooldown. Within the global cooldown, you know, freeing up your off the global cooldown spam. So then you just got to worry about your dance and the mechanics, and so on and so forth. I played Final Fantasy XIV for about a year. I loved it, but once again, once you get into your raid scenarios, then you got a weekly lockout, and unless you're just leveling jobs or you're, you know, I forget what it's called. Basically, your AI. There's just, it's rinse and repeat. So it's just your standard, you know, MMO at that time. But what I just think is that friggin' there's a lot of problems for Blizzard. Now, you know what they should have done? Actually, what they should have done is make... Yo, Gankenstein, Great Scott, yes. Hey, what's up, dude? How you doing? Good morning, Mystic. Hey, Harold, how you doing today? What they should have done is a StarCraft Online. They needed a new title. They just did. That was, you know, it was so apparent that, you know, they needed a new title so bad. And I wanted to reference that post because it sounds vaguely familiar, doesn't it? Does it sound, is it just me or does it sound vaguely familiar? You know? I don't know.
Speak to me before
you know, nerfing instead of, you know, whatever. Yeah, that, you know. And then, you know, it sounds familiar. I don't know. It sounds vaguely familiar to me. I don't know. You know? I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just, you know, whatever. You know? I don't know. It does sound familiar, though. So, I honestly think some companies better be taking notes and realizing, oh, shit, you know what? Our competitor isn't doing so good, and we're not grabbing, you know, the subs. Why is that happening? Or why can't we grab their subs? Well, this is a way more graphically beautiful game. The lore in this game is amazing. It's not on the same level as a story-driven MMO. Yes, they have a story, you know, there are, you know, whatever. It's not the same. It's just not. It's not. Trust me. You know, when it comes to that, I much prefer this lore in its context. I want more lore, actually, that ties into the Elder Scrolls universe. That's what I want. There's Easter eggs here, but I would like more tie-ins. Instead of like, let's try to be like Final Fantasy and, you know, come up with these stories. Stop trying to compete with Final Fantasy. You can't do it. It's like a movie, okay? The players get engulfed, okay? Trust me. You think to yourself, this is a corny, you know, whatever game, but then you start playing it and you get involved in it, right? You just do. You're just going to be stuck. And then there are, you know, these really good raids, right, that are much shorter than World of Warcraft raids were, but yet, you know, have the same mechanics, then the difficulty raises, you know? Okay. We have difficulty levels in this game. The question becomes, like, why are we doing the content? Why are we doing it? The gear just, we're just going to let the gear just, we're going to decon it? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That's what you're going to do. There's not a fucking thing you're going to do about it, right? Just not. There's just not. I mean, I wish it wasn't the case, but trust me, it's the case. It's the case, man. And Blizzard did it to themselves. Right? I mean, sooner or later, it's going to happen. Sooner or later, you're going to, you know, meet, you know, a part where this, where your game is just eventually, WoW had the longest run. They should be proud of themselves. You know? The average MMO lasts about, you know, 10 to 12 years. It's like a decade thing. So, you know, and they had a great run. They really did. They did. Amazing run. Let's go. Let's go. I ain't got time, man. Let's rock this bitch. Another DLC. Let's go. It must have been the 191 that somebody queued this. Let's. You know what? Honestly, can we? Yeah. Let's go. Oh shit, somebody took my shit. DPS. Leave the closest one to... Oh my fucking god. Fucking stupid DPS. Stupid DPS. Stupid DPS. Stupid DPS.
What a shame. They never bothered me.
Fucking trash.
What manner of witness is this? This doesn't look good. No wonder Ela and Lotus are still down on those steps. These gargoyles were just issues the last time I was here.
Don't make me keep buffing you guys. Hey, anybody... Stupid DPS. Never fails. All right. Stay put.
Watch out for this one.
What the hell is that dude doing? Don't even know when we're trying to cheese it.
Looks like the newcomers get
Thank God it's not on vet. Son of a...
I would have expected this illness to work on the giants.
No, it's cold. This way. Right?
Wipe them out. Make it clean.
I'll stop you laughing. You're scorned.
My blessing consumes me.
as you do. They keep invoking her name.
No! You can't disrupt our research!
Flames Camrias.
Ela, hold. Let them take care of this one. I need you and Lotus to hold off any reinforcements.
Fine, but our deal still stands. After their leader is felled, I want my payment.
By Sovendal, let's just focus on bashing in some heads, yeah?
Come on, man. There you go.
So busy, so busy. Now I must entertain these guests. Eventually, all shall be blessed. And perish. Let's let things happen, shall such robust guests. I'll put an end to that.
Imp-Gus, just what I require.
This is where being colorblind sucks nuts.
The smell of charred flesh.
Should be one coming up right there.
Some fumes, the ideal mixture for death.
Uh-oh.
Nasty. Nasty.
Could have been a little bit better.
She'll
Thing
kill
here.
you all. The art, the scale, the color. Bill.
Shield your fault. You said the leader would have.
He wasn't the one leading them, I'm afraid. My friends, prepare yourself. For Za'a, the scale culture has risen.
No, yeah. Come on, I don't give a shit. Just want in and out of this hell.
Send you to yourself. I rule over this mountain, and you shall know me. This mountain shall be your friend. Your foes will break on my shield. I'll leave you where you stand. Send my foes your blessing. My lord. No! Stay away from me! Frost and blight hold you! My lord.
It's over.
No, I was so close. Spellbreaker was within my grasp. It should be
I guess I
mine.
never finished this quest. Oh, that's right, because I got annoyed with the last group I was in. You know, the funny thing is you actually have to, this is bug, you actually have to exit and then come back in just to get the dialogue.
No!
Is that all you can
It should
think
be
of?
mine.
After all that we've been through?
Yeah.
I pray one day you see that. So that with the cult defeated,
Bingo. Done. Oh my. Poor Blizard. Poor Blizard. We feel bad for them. I wonder if the CEO will finally get fired. I mean, replaced. I mean, you know, retire. It'll be interesting. What can I say, man? Kind of do it to themselves, man. Oh boy, they do it to themselves. Here's what I have to, here's my recommendation for any company pulling nerfs and throwing gimmicks and doing all sorts of dumb shit. You're going to antagonize your player base. Stop doing that. Don't power creep things. See, Blizzard kept power creeping, and now everybody's aggravated because they took it away. Jeez, Mateezes. I don't know. I don't know. Stick to the content. Final Fantasy 14, at the end of the day, what it's got going for it is a story-driven content. Players like me can even take a break. If I want to go back to Final Fantasy 14, I'm already past, well, I'm in the middle of, my story when I left off. But it would take me a couple weeks, and I get caught up, get geared up, and I'd be ready for the whatever, and I have to get my new relic, you know?
Did you get lost?
But Final Fantasy 14 is a real friggin', it's a beast game, man. It really is. I know, it's a hard idea, but if you're into PvE, it's a killer game. It just is. It's a beast game. What the fuck? Can I get anything quick today? Can I? No. Someone says they're looking for burning spell weave. I'm gonna cry. Can I get a... Of course the DPS leaves this shit to us. Stupid DPS. I'm about to kick you, dude. I'm all for a quick run, but... Let me do my debuffing and shit. They're gonna bug up this hellhole. Let's go. Yeah. Skipping trash.
It has the Lord's favor. If it truly wants to impress us, it should not cheat.
Coming for you, Gilrain.
Finganian? How in oblivion did he get here? Damn it! I need healing! Help me!
Gilrain! Look, are you alright? What did they do to you?
Never mind that. How about you try not getting
I will see to it. The golden flame erases you.
The Daedrith are fighting over your friend's souls. If we're lucky, they'll keep us.
We have to help them. What now? We can't get past that thing.
Skin from your foe.
Like a second sun.
The healer's locked out. Finish the fucker. Fucking A.
Finganian's new friends
Should
aren't
have been
as
paying
weak as
attention.
you
I'm like,
lot.
what the fuck is
And
going
you call
on here?
yourselves undaunted.
Quiet, you. It's been a bad day.
Jeez, let's see
What are you looking
this.
at?
What do you think? It's been months. Are you all right?
I'm fine. I got used to it.
Got used to what? What did you do? How do you survive?
I went native. Keep up.
I'll try.
I'm about to kick the dude. Just off sheer principle.
Your skins will make fine banners.
Now hold on.
What is that in the sky? It's like no fowl I've ever seen.
This is the end of the line. Falcon Scoria wants you dead. Arise, we have visitors. Show our visitors how bright a new day can burn.
Unacceptable! Slay the mortal!
Of course I can't. Because of course I am.
You're here. Let's go. We have to destroy the sigil stone in order to close the Oblivion Gate for good. Gilren says Vulcan Scoria guards it.
Probably my healer.
don't have to come down here for me to hurt you.
No! Venganians!
Took 3 tries, but the clue dropped and they scried it for now. Now just have to figure out who to use it on. You can copy it though. Cost 25. Transmutation. Now back to farming other clues, right? You can actually, once you scry something, you can copy it. Just like everything else in the game. So, you just gotta farm up transmutation. So, the way it works is you go to collections, you go to sets, you go down to miscellaneous, and right there, then you can recopy it for 25. Just as easy as that. So I'm going to continue my little farm, and I got some real life stuff to do, but you know, the biggest thing about it is, and I think for most people, you know, the thing about it is, there are great elements to, you know, this game. Once again, the other day I said, you know, the nerfs, and then coming out with a gimmick that's kind of it's not gonna eventually sit well. It's all about content and not subtracting context. And I love this game, but once again, if you can't read between the lines, and why Final Fantasy players, why World of Warcraft players are going to Final Fantasy 14, it's no surprise. Blizzard for years got out of touch with their community. They didn't listen. They did not listen, right? And Blizzard was all about what? The money. But here's the deal. When you operate a good business, money comes. Right? So we don't have a game in comparison to a linear progression, because once again, Final Fantasy 14 is linear, so was World of Warcraft. But that shouldn't be the deterring factor. The factor of it is, we still have bugs that's been existing for years. Should have been cleaned up. We have a trial system that's a lot faster than the raid system in comparison to WoW. But there's no incentive for players to want to do the content other than maybe achievement, maybe the mount, but there needs to be more incentive, especially when it comes to gear, and dropping gear that isn't, you know, kosher or isn't as good as the gear that's dropping in Dungeons and Overland in comparison. I'm not saying that it has to be better than. I'm saying the simple fact of it is, players don't utilize these sets because the meta in this game has trashed it, but that's not the meta's fault. That's ZOS's fault. Then you nerf something, and then you pigeonhole everybody in these same setups. Once again, I'm just going to say it. You know? You better have the one, you know, fundamental And that's about incentivizing the player's playtime. You know? Then tie in, you know, the lore here is great. So I don't think it should ever be like Final Fantasy XIV. The storyline, little content's good. They could tie in a couple minor little things else, drops a little bit more Easter eggs, get people to reminisce on the other titles or how this current scenario later plays into the role of those games. You know, I think Morrowind they did a good job touching up on that. Somerset and elsewhere, whatever. This will be have yet to be seen. We're in the midst of, you know, the storyline through Blackwood. I think honestly, we'll see how that plays out. Because what I'm saying is Somerset and elsewhere, there's no Elder Scrolls title to reference that. I did play through Morrowind. I need to play through Blackwood. I did not play through the Greymoor. So I can't, you know, I can't really say how well they tied that in with Skyrim. You know, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see how it all goes down. But, as always, Harold, Gankenstein, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. As always, I'm Mr. Craven. This is Mystics MMOs. Have a good one.